night before the exam. So this is perhaps the most anxious and desperate day for everyone. So मेरी day भी कुछ ऐसा ही था. I was a little bit stressed, of course, because yes, the next day was very important day in my life. But I didn't let that stress get me. I tried to stay relaxed and focusing on some very important concepts which I tend to forget again and again. I did not study much the night before exam. I rather spent time with my family and friends. I talked with my teachers and they wished me the best luck, and that was the best part of that day. And I tried to revise a few important concepts which I tend to forget a lot. And I tried not to think of academics. I just thought what I would do the next day. I did not think much of what's gonna happen next day or what will be the consequences after writing exam. I just wanted to live in the moment and write the exam in the perfect manner. That's what my day before the exam was all about. And then a night before the exam, I tried to go through all my entire 2.5-year journey for preparing for NEET exam. As such, I could not believe that my journey was coming to an end. But yes, it was an amazing journey, and I was praying to God that let the exam go very well. Night before the exam, I did not try to study much. मैंने बस अपने खुद के short notes revise करने पे ज़्यादा focus करा. मैंने हर chapter के 1-page short notes बना रखे थे, जिसमें से मैंने वो chapters की revision करी जिसमें मैं कम confident थी. So that I would feel a little bit more confident. At the same time, मुझे थोड़ा डर भी लग रहा था, like क्या कल ये बात मुझे याद आएगी या नहीं आएगी. But I did not let that thought get me. I just thought, no worries, you will remember it tomorrow because you have prepared so hard. So of course you are going to remember it tomorrow. That's what I kept telling myself. एंड शॉर्ट नोट्स रिवाइज करने पर फोकस करा मैंने, एंड ज़्यादा ही टेंशन नहीं लिया. लाइक अगर मैं कोई पॉइंट भूल भी रही थी तो भी मैंने उस पर ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं लिया, बिकॉज अगर मैं टेंशन लेती तो परहैप्स ऐसा भी हो सकता है मैं कल एग्जाम के दिन भी वो भूल जाऊँ. तो आई ट्राई टू स्टे एज रिलैक्स एज पॉसिबल एंड स्पेंड मोर टाइम विद माई फैमिली एंड डिड नॉट try to actually study anything, but just did a little bit of revision.
The night before the exam, I had planned my study schedule to ensure that I had nothing to study the day of the exam. I mean, that was the goal I had in mind, but I'd be lying if I said I was able to achieve that. I remember the morning of the exam, I thought there are some things that I need to study. I'll be done by it before 11 a.m. and after that the rest of the day I'll relax. 11 a.m. went to 2 p.m, 2 p.m. went to 5 p.m, and by that point I was starting to get sucked into that vortex of self-doubt, like, okay, I forgot this, what else might I have forgotten? So that was the point where my mom put her foot down and said, okay, that's it, books closed, you aren't doing anything else today. So after that I put my books away. I went to play table tennis for a while with my younger brother. After that, post dinner, I was mostly just relaxing, listening to music, watching some clippings from my favorite shows. Basically anything that's not addictive, but at the same time will help you relax. And immediately after that, I started feeling so much more confident, so much more calm and peaceful. So my main suggestion would be, if you do feel, I mean, there are some things that you know, unless you read one day before the exam, in school also, we always have the thing, no matter how much we prepare, some things we keep for the day before the exam. As far as possible, avoid it, but if there are a couple of things you need to glance through, okay, do it, because it will give you that sense of complete preparation. So do that, but leave nothing heavy for the last day before the exam. It's supposed to be as free, calm and peaceful as possible. So that is what I would suggest, and try to catch some sleep. I mean, go to sleep a little earlier than you normally do. Chances are, because of the excitement, nervousness, tension, whatever it is you're experiencing about the exam, the next day you may not be able to go to sleep that easily. I know I wasn't. I was shifting and turning around in my bed for quite some time, but as far as possible, get some rest, because you'll need it the next day.
So about 2 days before the exam, what comes to your mind is just anxiety, that performance pressure that everybody is building on you. Your teachers expect something, your parents expect something, and then there are sleepless nights. And what I would recommend is 2 days before the exam, spend a lot working, so that you don't have the issue of not getting enough sleep just before it. So what I did was, the day before the exam, I tried with coffee or whatever, I tried not to sleep in the daytime, because that's how I could retain that sleep during the night. And still, during the NEET exam, there was a lot of anxiety, because that was the first exam with such big ambitions that I was giving, which may or may not have had consequences later in the exam. But this this thing I really improved upon in the AIMS exam. Because I slept a lot. I slept 8 hours straight, and then have a decent meal, not too heavy. You can supplement it with beverages. I supplemented it with coffee to keep me awake. Because what happens in these exams is, like NEET towards the last 2 years or so has been a very high scoring exam, right? From 720, approximately 700 to 720 is a range that people have been scoring continuously. So even one question that you may attempt with a silly mistake, right? You may not look at the question carefully because you just dozed off, that mind dozed off for just 1 second. That could cost you a lot of ranks, that could cost you your dream college, right? So the night before the exam is important because it's staying awake, staying attentive during the exam is as important as knowing what the question is telling you about.
अलग अलग लोगों का अलग अलग व्यू होता है. Some of them they actually study before the examination and some of them they prefer कि वो chill करे and थोड़ा relax करे with the family. I go with the first one. I did study the day before the examination because when you study, I feel that you are in that zone of reading the questions, you are going through the answers. So you will be in that zone of going through the questions and you won't feel something new. So you can definitely revise the things which you have already studied, but don't study anything new, okay? And the next thing which comes, mostly it comes in your mind that what will happen on the day of the examination. It's a big day, definitely it is, because you have prepared for it for 2 years, 3 years or maybe more. But it's that if you have prepared for 2 years, that will showcase in the examination, okay? Nothing is gonna happen. So don't worry that it will affect or something will happen or something bad will happen. Whatever you have prepared will show in your results. So don't take any tension. Talk to your parents. Just be chill, be relaxed and sleep at around 12 or 1. So as we know that examination is from 2 to 5. So even if you get a bit late, like at 9 or 10, so that is also fine. And since due to the COVID situation, we have to reach the examination center maybe around 2 hours or 3 hours earlier. So be prepared for that. My center was around like 70 kilometers from my place. So I had to leave around 5 hours before the examination because they called me around 2 hours before the examination. So I left at around 9 or 10 in the morning. And you have to be like very calm and very peaceful the day before the examination. Take a proper sleep, talk to your parents and don't study something new. Just revise the topics and don't take the pressure of the examination at all.
So the entire day before the exam was very stressful. जितने भी negative thoughts आ सकती थी कि नहीं होगा, fail हो जाऊँगा या कुछ भी होगा, वो उसी दिन आना start हो गई थी. तो I was very stressed out and naturally ये भी लग रहा था कि कहीं ये ना आ जाए exam में, तो सब कुछ का रिविजन करने की कोशिश कर रहा था. Because that's not possible, that was again making me more stressed and towards the end of the day I really didn't know what to do. At that point my parents came in, they said that it was okay and I needed to stop studying. Initially I had planned that I wouldn't study on that day and I would relax क्योंकि पता था कि ऐसा होने ही वाला है. But जो सोचा था नहीं पढ़ूंगा, फिर लगा कि 3 घंटे पढ़ लेता हूँ 12 बजे तक, फिर शाम हो गई, पढ़ते पढ़ते निकल गया. And then my parents said कि चलो मूवी देखने चलते हैं. So we went and we watched a movie and that really calmed my nerves. But again when I came back home, I again started getting the thoughts कि ये छूट गया तो एग्जाम में आ जाएगा तो क्या होगा. And at that point I had to sort of give up on myself कि अब जो होगा वो देखा जाएगा. So I had initially planned to sleep at around 12 o'clock in the night, but that 12 became 12:30 and then 1 o'clock. And finally I did sleep off at 1 o'clock. Even though I wasn't able to sleep properly actually on that day. I was so excited. The entire 2 years had culminated into that day. So naturally I was very excited, very nervous and extremely tense.